How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to some more Magic. Today I've got a Golgari deck I'm calling Obliterating Stride. It is primarily focusing around the Free Strider Lookout, which I think is one of the better and more interesting ramp cards that has been added recently for green. So I wanted to try and make use of that in a Golgari mid-range deck. I am playing off of Tail Swipe and Phyrexian Obliterator, a very common combo. Pretty much everybody should be familiar with it. It can make people just instantly give up because you blow up all of their board. Tail Swipe being the one I'm using, the fight card that I'm using specifically because it is instant speed, so that's necessary. If it wasn't for that, you'd lose a lot more games. So things like Bushwhack, despite having dual purpose, being able to get you land early and things, this is just better and necessary. A lot of other interaction: cut down, go for the throat, tear asunder, virtue of persistence, especially Glissa. Glissa, even if you don't draw a card or destroy an enchantment, you can do the remove up to 3 counters from target permanent and commit crimes from that, just targeting your opponent's lands, targeting their creatures. Even if they don't have counters on them, you can still do that and trigger Free Strider Lookout for crimes to go and get lands. I do have tap lands in here. You can speed up the lands if you want, but sometimes you don't have a crime option and you just want to throw out, like, say for example, I've done this before, which Armored Scrap Gorger also commits crimes by being able to pull things from graveyards, which is why I'm using it as a sort of ramp card in this deck as well, to kind of get me to the Free Strider and protect me a little bit from, like, tiny aggro. But so, for example, say it's turn 3, I haven't played a land yet, but I have 2 land and an Armored Scrap Gorger out. You can play Free Strider Lookout on that turn, and then play a Festering Gulch and get a crime trigger right away, ramp you up to another land. It does enter tapped if you want to shy away from so many slow lands, because they're obviously, you've got Restless Cottage, there's Festering Gulch. If you're in the late game, Blooming Marsh enters tapped. If you're in the early game, Deathcat Glade enters tapped. So that can result in some really slow starts if you're not, not lucky. You can drop the Festering Gulch and go with like one more Blooming Marsh, one more. I would say, I'm not sure. You could probably run more Cavern of Souls. I'm only running it as a 2 of, and originally I had some Mortuary in here, things like that for some Scry off of Free Strider, because these tap lands, when he pulls something, it's going to enter tapped anyway, so you want to always try and aim for like a Festering Gulch, a Restless Cottage, things like that. So I originally had 4 Restless Cottage, and a Underground Mortuary. I decided to take those out for the Cavern of Souls to speed things up a little bit and give some uncounterable. You can call humans and get Mosswood Dread Knight, Free Strider Lookout. You can call Phyrexians and get the Phyrexian or Armored Scrap Gorger, Glissa, Sheoldred, Phyrexian Obliterator. So there is a significant amount of the creatures in here that can be played with Cavern of Souls, just going off of human, Phyrexian, either of those two. Phyrexian obviously would be your priority because most of your creatures in the deck are Phyrexian, but if you need to get some, like your Free Strider out and not have it be countered, or a Mosswood Dread Knight out and make sure it's not countered, you can go human. I do have a little bit of a sideboard. I don't really play sideboards because I play best of 1. Originally, when I built this deck, instead of the 4 Tail Swipe and 3 Phyrexian Obliterators, I ran 2 Duress, 3 Deep Cavern Bats, and 2 Goldvein Hydras. That way you have a little bit of top end off of your Free Strider and the mana that you ramp into, and these provide more crime options for this Free Strider. I decided that I didn't like it as much, and that the deck as a whole was more reliable going for the Tail Swipe Obliterator combo, because that really just can ruin people's day very quickly and makes the deck a lot more dangerous as a whole. So I opted to go like this instead, but if you don't like that combo, you can absolutely run these cards instead of the Obliterators and Tail Swipes, and it is absolutely viable. It worked, I just didn't like it as much, so that's why I made that change. But anyway, without any further ado, I think we'll get into this deck. I haven't put up any Golgari decks in a bit. I've been playing around with Golgari. It's a little bit slower as a deck type than the Rakdos, Mono Black, stuff like that I've been posting, so I've been struggling to get this as reliable as my other decks, but I'm pretty happy with where I landed with this. I did make the land changes pretty last minute here, so we'll see if that matters. I'm running 3 Bloomin' Marsh because late game you don't want to get them, but at the same time, not that big a deal if you hit one with a Free Strider after 3 land are already out on the field. But, so you could run 4 of those. I'm not, just because I don't want to hit them as often after turn 3. But, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the games. I'm going to be playing Standard Ranked. I hope you all enjoy. Alright, going into game 1 here, no untapped lands, a little disappointing. But we'll go ahead and get the Festering Gulch out and hope that we get a untapped land on the draw. If not, I'll still have Cut Down available on turn 2 and turn 3 as we go in, so we'll make it work. I think it's good enough to keep the hand at the very least. Though I have noticed this deck struggles with being slow at times, so something that I've been doing is playing out untapped land on turn 1, even if it means tap land on turn 2 or 3, just so that I can get the cut down option available faster. Because I normally would have probably already used cut down on this. I'm not going to let him attack with it on the off chance that he has ninjas. Okay, he's not going to be playing a ninja, so we'll just cut Tough Cookie. Go for the Throat's going to be useless here, so I would normally opt against having it. You could sideboard something along the lines of, what do I want to do here? I guess Glissa. You could opt out it for Bitter Triumph. A lot of people are running a lot of Planeswalkers. Bitter Triumph comes in handy there. Long Goodbye is really nice. Similar reasons, you can get rid of 3-drop or lower Planeswalkers creatures without it being counterable. Not afraid of that whatsoever right now. Okay, for this, I think... Let's go... Deathcap Blade. Use Virtue on the Ginger Brute, and then attack in. Alright, since he didn't block, we're just going to destroy the Zoetic Glyph. And we can, in fact, just blow that up as well. I could have waited, seen what he was going to do with it, but it seemed perfectly fine to just get rid of it right now so he doesn't have any option to attack on this turn. We have Boseiju and Tail Swipe. I don't think either is really what I want to go with right now. Let's just attack in. He probably won't block. Let's draw a card. Another Tail Swipe, huh? Let's go Festering Gulch. And I think I'm going to keep Boseiju ready in case he tries to go for another Zoetic Glyph or something. I can just destroy the artifact before he can attach. Let's just make them fight then, kill each other. That way it's not just straight damage to my creature and he loses his as well. We'll see what he's gonna do. I really think best move for me here is just gonna be... Let's get rid of Tough Cookie. That way he can't animate anything with it, or play around with Agus's Soul Cauldron, even if the Cauldron is out on the field. Excuse me. This way he just doesn't have any targets. Yeah, he can remove the things from my graveyard as much as he wants, I really don't care. I now will be able to do the same with my Scrap Gorger to start pulling whatever he tries to grab with the Cauldron. Obviously, I can't on this turn. My Scrap Gorger still has Summoning Sickness, but that's totally fine. Him randomly grabbing my cards doesn't make any difference to me. Also, we're up to 6 land now, including the Scrap Gorger, so I can play Virtue, and it makes him have to pull things even if there's no good targets. Okay, perfect. I actually think we're going to save this until he gets a creature, so for now I'm just going to pass. Once he gets something, maybe even makes it big, I'll make him fight the Obliterator. I might be waiting a minute, though. Then, as I was saying, if he tries going for things with the Soul Cauldron, I can just try to pull it with my Scrap Gorger. If he doesn't, I can still try to pull things with my Scrap Gorger. Yeah, we're just gonna... I don't mind at all to do this. It means that I get that counter on my Scrap Gorger. Which does build up my Scrap Gorger, so that's why we want to wait for him to try and Soul Cauldron first. Free Strider, this will be fun. Now I can start grabbing things from his graveyard with my Scrap Gorger, and whether I get it or not, the Free Strider is going to get a land. Which he does have a lot of artifacts. If I go for the Obliterator, he's going to have plenty of things to sacrifice without losing his land or anything like that. But that's totally fine. I don't mind that. Okay, he's got a Sentinel. Ideally, he'll start pumping it. It's really what we want here. I'm hoping he doesn't hit land. Oh. I really want him to be able to pump this Lookout. I will even go as far as to... See, I'm going to let him do this. I'm just going to pull the Zoetic Blade. Blooming Marsh is a good target. I hope he keeps using these map tokens. Come on, go for it. It's fine, I don't care. I was really hoping he would put more into that with the map tokens, but since he didn't, it's fine. We'll go ahead and tail swipe here. Pull out a Restless Cottage. We do get to keep the Obliterator, which is really nice. And he's got to drop a bunch of stuff now. I think 5? 4 maybe? Which he does have artifacts. He doesn't have to drop land if he chooses not to. I am not going to attack with my Scrap Gorger. It would be able to do damage this turn if I want to, but I'm going to keep it up for committing a crime on the next turn. So I'm just going to attack with my Free Strider. And he scoops. Really easy match, actually. Was a lot of fun, in my opinion. I am still in gold. I haven't played ranked since the last time I recorded a video, so We are trying to get a rank up, and then I'm going to stop. So if I just get 3 straight wins, that's what we're doing. But we'll see. I don't know. This match could have gone a lot of different ways. Turned out really well, really fun. I recommend doing like I did with the Obliterator. Just hold it until you're ready to use it with that tail swipe if you can. Make sure you've got enough land to play the tail swipe. Our opponent kind of helped us out there. I let him do the counters so that it would get as big as possible. A nice thing about tail swipe too, if you do it main phase like I did, even though it's instant speed, it put a 1/1 counter on the Obliterator, making it a 6/6 going forward. This went pretty great, pretty ideally. If you can play it smart like that, you can have a really good turn. Alright, another little bit of a slow start with the Restless Cottage. I'll probably play Llanowar Wastes first on both turns, unless I draw another land, just so that I can get these cutdowns online right away, especially with the opponent going first. Okay, straight for Soul Cauldron. I'm gonna go ahead and go Caverner Souls. That was a really good draw, actually. Now, cut down is no longer an option on this turn, but that's fine. Got rid of my ramp, a little disappointing. But this turn I can go for the Restless Cottage pretty safely and have cut down and go for the Throat available. Could go ahead and go for the draw. I think I will. Take a little bit of damage, but it's no big deal. I feel like that was the right move there because he's running mono black. It's going to be probably mostly removal in his hand. I don't have a reason. Well, let's see. Let's play this first. He may have a cut down or something. So let's go ahead and do Death Cap just on the off chance that I need that second mana. I was going to go Fester and Gulch since I don't see anything really dangerous coming out, but this seems right. I'm going to go for a Black Source. Just continues to help with most of my deck, really. We want Flesh Gorger to be available if I get it, so need the 4 black. We want to be able to do the cut down if it becomes relevant. We want to be able to do the Go for the Throat, which it was already enabled. Got a target with my with my Obliterator now. Seems like he just really wants to steal my things and not necessarily do anything, like at all, which is kind of boring. But whatever. I'll just kill him if that's the case. In this case, I'm going to play the Llanowar Waste just so I can keep cut down as an option. I don't think it's going to be relevant. Now, he can Soul Cauldron my Mosswood Dread Knight if he manages to kill it, which would be annoying. So I do want to use a Terra Sunder on that if I get the option. He's probably going to do it right now, though. I would. This person's obviously playing a very heavy control version of Mono Black, though. What do we have here? 2, 5. At this point, it doesn't matter what I do. I'll go ahead and play the Gulch for the extra damage. He will not be able to animate the cottage until he steals one of my green lands. I'm going to probably wait for him to try and put a counter on that. Doesn't look like he's gonna, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill it now. Actually, no. Yeah, because if I try to go for the Virtue, it's just gonna... I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm gonna go for the Virtue and a cut down. He'll be able to pump it with the Soul Cauldron, but I still think it's the better play. I am gonna have to discard 2 cards, too. But I want to have the Go for the Throat available. To kill my own cottage. really could use that Tear Asunder now. Didn't actually mean to play that. I was going to hold up the Go for the Throat, but that's fine. No surprise there. This is a really fun idea, though, what this opponent is going for here. I've been wanting to use Realm Breaker. I have a couple, so I might try making something similar to this, just because it looks fun. Now, he'll have the option of just using the Soul Cauldron to grab whatever I try to grab. I mean... like I say, it doesn't matter. He's going to grab whatever I go for. So this is really going to be more a war of attrition than anything. Stealing my stuff, I'm really not afraid of that. Like at all. Could get my Tear Asunder or something like that, but I think I've only got one left anyway. Looks like he got it. Yeah, I may be done here just for getting straight up controlled out too hard. Yeah, nothing I can do. I would go ahead and scoop now, but I'm just going to wait. See if I can get anything that may be able to help. But I doubt it. Not at this rate. Nah, I'm going to go ahead and scoop. This match was a total bust. So, last match was a bust, unfortunately. But we did lose to at least an interesting form of mono-black control rather than just something extremely conventional that I've seen a bunch before. So I actually enjoyed that pretty well. I'm gonna go Gulch first. There is potential for having it later, but I don't have a cut down or anything, so it doesn't matter. Don't really care about a duress. If we're going up against Demir, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and go with Blissa first on the off chance that we can get some value out of the Free Strider later. Would prefer to play it on, say, turn 4, turn 5, when I may have something I can do with it. If he doesn't take the Tear, yeah, I can just get him back with the Tear Asunder if I want to. I don't know that I even want to waste it on something like that. Now I don't get the option, but I can still do this. I don't really like Deep Cavern Bat, personally. Like, it's a good card, yeah, but it doesn't have a lot of value. What do I want to do? I think I'm gonna do this. I doubt he blocks. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get a land. I'll just hold my Free Strider back as a blocker. His bat won't even be able to attack because it has reach. I want to draw here. Another land's not helpful. Now if he flips that bird, he'll be able to force that gambit on me, and then I'll basically have lost. Very annoying. So I need a way to kill that bird right now. I don't think I'm gonna get it. That was weird. Yeah, you can't let Glissa through because I could still kill that enchantment. Fortunately for me, I can keep replaying the Mosswood. Get that off me. There we go. Now we're looking at a really good spot. That hurt, but finally got that off me. Hopefully he doesn't have the means to do it again. If he has another bird, I'm ruined. Yeah, this is gonna be impossible. this Fester. Get that extra damage in. I can't believe I won that, honestly. Got really lucky. I really hate that bird combo. Okay. Looks fine. Not great, but okay. That's the problem with gimmick decks, that last match. If it doesn't win for you, you just lose. That's kind of why I put the Obliterator in this already decent deck, so that I could actually have a good deck and then have the Obliterator as like a side option. It's not supposed to win the match for me, it's supposed to harass my opponent. In this moment, since we're playing against aggro, I'm going to try and wear out his resources, run out his creatures as fast as possible, so that he stops having a resource to attack me with. I could have kept open my Go for the Throat there, because he does have haste creatures, but in this moment, putting up a blocker as well as ramping seemed like the right option. And if he doesn't kill my Scrap Gorger there, I can play Shielded. Yeah, which we are absolutely going to do. Eating his graveyard isn't hugely helpful, unless he decides to play a Squee, or, like, if he has Squee in his deck, it helps. And also, if he plays something like a Phoenix Chick, eating that so it can't come back, things like that's very helpful as well. I'm gonna let the Feldon hit me. I get more value out of keeping Shielded than I do blocking with her. Still unfortunately lost her, but I think I still made the right play. Let's go ahead and go here, here, and here. Restless Cottage, it's a great pick. Again, the hope is just to run him out of resources. Not blocking. So rude. Yeah, I don't mind blocking here. He won't be able to deal with that, so we've basically won now. All of his removal is burn, and if he shoots it, it just results in him losing everything. So he can no longer kill it or attack. Huh? He's still gonna have to sacrifice all those permanents before an attack goes through. He's low enough I can just kill him here. Obliterator's a death sentence against mono red. So if you're running that like I am, it's just game over. All right. We're looking for one more win here. We do have an Obliterator, which is nice. I think we go Llanowar Waste here, and this is keepable. Not great, but keepable. Wish I had like a cut down or something like that, but going first helps. Man, it looks like we're going to be getting a turn 3 Obliterator. Maybe not. But we do have answers to the bat. Okay, so yeah, still running out the Obliterator. I don't mind, he could kill it. I would love to get something that isn't Tear Asunder for the bat, but since that doesn't look like it's going to be happening... Yeah, figured he would have some kind of removal for it, no big deal. That's why, ideally, you would want to keep the Obliterator for once you have some kind of method to remove it, like to tail swipe or something. If he tries to play it, I'm just going to steal it. Fine. Looks like it's not going to give me the option to steal it, which sucks. I should have went ahead and took it, but I was trying to... I don't know why. It's fine. I didn't have to do that main phase. I don't know if we'll be winning this one, unfortunately. So far, it really doesn't look like it, but we'll see. I won't do it again. I'm not going to take any with the cottage just so that I get the option to take it with the scrap cordial later. Gonna lock me out of my Free Strider's ability, which is very annoying. Be smart about it this time. We do have reach with the Free Strider, so that's nice. Yeah, you better do that. Because there was plenty of blocks I had there. I don't see any way out of this, unfortunately. This is a really rough one. Unfortunately, I don't have the land to do this as well. Yep. Sadly, another loss. Hopefully we can get a win on the next one. We've had some rough matchups for this deck so far, which is unfortunate. But it's a fun one to play. The Free Strider is a very, very fun card that can be surprisingly devastating if your opponent lets it be. If they try to leave it and not deal with it, it can very seriously put you in a great position. Looks like this is going to be Boros Convoke, another very difficult matchup for me, unfortunately. Lots of aggro decks. It's, honestly just pure cancer playing Standard right now. I switched to playing Alchemy for a lot of my other stuff recently. Kind of still feel like that was the right move, because these matches just aren't fun. Nobody's doing anything but like aggro, and it's really pretty boring. We do have Gix's Command, which would be a total blowout for the opponent. Obviously what we're going to try and go for if we get the opportunity. I am going to play Glissa next, but they have lots of answers. My hope is to use her to slow them down, but I don't know. That's going to be really, really rough to fight against. Not even going to bother trying to keep the Mosswood. It did good doing its block right there. Definitely going to go here. If I can get an attack through, I can just blow up the Ward Leader's Call. Also, we do have Terra Sunder, so that's probably going to be the move. Wanted him to block first. Do have the tail swipe available if we get a good target. Now it's fine. Interesting. We're gonna go with Scrap Gorger so that I can do fun stuff. As long as Scrap Gorger doesn't die, we just blow up his board this next turn. I'm still going to do the card draw. Yeah, and then the opponent quits, because that's what Boros Convoke does when you wipe the board. So, did manage to get the wins. Went 3-2, so not as flashy a showing as my previous decks, but I promise you this deck is very fun. It really is. Did get to show off a lot of different options with this. So a lot of these matchups were really hard for me to go against with this deck. A lot of aggro, and this deck is a mid-range deck. It can be very hard to deal with, but I hope you all enjoyed it.